Hi guys, Cindy from Bunnybrook Designs. So it's been a few weeks. Things have been crazy. Sorry. We're gonna do a video. I think I'm using February's bead box, leafy land. No, I'm Floral Fantasy. Sorry. So I was playing with some of the beads, and I was making a little pattern. I want to make a bracelet, and I don't know if I'm going to have enough of these beads, but we're going to try it anyway. So I'm going to get started, and while I'm working, I'm going to give you some updates. It's been kind of crazy, which is why I haven't been around. Bella got sick, and then we had bunny bondings and lots of stuff going on. So anyways, I'm going to be using monofilament for this just because I feel like having the clear thread is going to be better. So I'm going to take, I don't know how much I'm going to need, so I'm going to do two, I think I'm going to do just two wingspans of it. That way I know I have plenty, and, you know, if I need more, well, then we'll have to redo it. But so I'm just going to take my wingspan, and I'm going to be using some Preciosa opaque silver beads. I'm going to need to get some more of these because I use a lot. So we're going to do this. And now you don't necessarily need needles on this. You can do it without needles. It's very hard to see, so what I may do for you is I may get these on needles. I don't know if that's going to go through. Yeah, see, that ain't going to go through a beading needle, and I needed to go through a beading needle. All right, so first things we're going to do is we're going to make a loop on it. So I'm going to pick up 2, 3, 4, if I can get them. 4, I'm going to pick up 8. 4. Oops. 5. 6. 7. And 8. And what I'm going to do is that last 8th one, I'm going to pass the other side of the thread through that bead in the opposite direction. So we're going to be doing some bead weaving. And then I'm going to hold the 2 ends together, and I'm just going to slide this all the way down so that we're in the center. And this is also why I grabbed extra thread. Also because I wanted to make sure that I had plenty. All right, so now to start this out, and I think I'm going to start with the purple because I have more of these, so we can start with purple. I'm going to pick up a purple, a seed bead, whoops, if I can get that, a purple, a seed bead, a purple, and another seed bead on one side. And then I'm going to find my other end. And on the other end, I'm going to pick up a purple, just one purple. Okay. And I'm going to slide this down, and I'm going to show you, and this is not in the center. Somehow it got off center. So if it starts to get off center when you first start, again, just pinch your ends together because we haven't done very much. and slide it down so it's dead center, because we're going to need both sides. So now that I've got this on there, okay, I'm going to take the side with the one bead. Oops, if I can find my end here. So I'm going to take the side with the one bead, and I'm just going to pass it in the opposite direction through that seed bead. So this is going to be a really easy bracelet to do. And so that's going to have your clasp or your loop off center, which is what we want. So now we're coming out of this seed bead, and now we're going to repeat this pattern, except we're going to pick up, okay, and I'm trying to think. So on this side here, okay, we're going to pick up, so the side that had the 2, right, we're now going to pick up on the opposite side. We're going to pick up, and I'm trying to find my end here, a blue, a seed bead, a blue, and a seed bead. Oops. And then on the other side, I'm just going to pick up a blue, and we're going to repeat this. Now you can do this with 3 or, you could do it with multiple colors. You didn't have to. And then I'm going to take this last seed bead that's in my hand, and I'm going to pass the thread through it in the opposite direction and just pull everything down. Now I know I've got my threads out of whack, so, and I did that backwards. I'm sorry. I knew I did that backwards. So, as you can see, it's going in the same direction. I don't want it to be going in the same direction. I want it to be going in the opposite direction. So I'm going to pull that off. And again, I was just playing with this to start. So what we're going to do is I want the 2 on the inside. So I want 2 here, 1 over here. So we're going to do that. I'm going to pick up the 1 over here on this one. Right? I'm looking at my sample that I was playing with. Let me get these threads. I've got thread that is in the way. All right. So I did this sample, and I did this sample earlier, and now I'm trying to remember how I did it and trying not to tie knots in my thread. All right. So we've got 1 on there. I need 2 on this side. That's right. So blue, seed bead, blue, seed bead, and this side. Right? Let's see if that's right. If I did this backwards yet again. I did. All right, I'm pausing you guys. All right, guys, never mind on that. That's what it's supposed to be doing. I was just looking back at my sample, and my sample, because I've got 3 on there, I was like, wait, it doesn't look right. So that's right. I'm sorry. We were right. So it doesn't really matter. You're going to have 3 beads. So now we're going to pick up on the outside, I'm going to pick up 2 beads on one. So there's a purple It's what I get for doing a design, then walking away and forgetting what I did. I'm going to pick up another purple here, and then another seed bead on this one. So while I'm doing this and picking up these beads, little bit of an update. Velvet and Charlie have been completely bonded. I'm going to pick up one on this side. So Velvet's actually, oops, wrong bead, wrong thing. We don't need this sample. So, yeah, so that's one of the things that kind of took me away. I was doing the last remaining bonding tasks with them, and now they're completely together. Very happy, I might add. All right, and yeah, so they're doing good. Velvet's actually downstairs with Charlie right now, so we're trying to get into a new routine. All right, so now I'm going to pass my thread back through that seed bead. And we're going to tighten this up, and that should be, yep, there we go. All right, so as you can see, we've got this zigzag going on, and that's exactly what I want. So now I'm going to pick up two, on this one, I'm going to pick up a blue, a silver, a blue, and a silver. Again, I don't know if I'm going to have enough to do this. I might. I still got the sample. Now that I've got the pattern, I can start using the beads off the sample. All right, and then I'm going to take this thread, the opposite thread, and pass it back through the seed bead. And as you can see, we'll be starting to form a pattern here of zigzags. So it's just going to be triangles and zigzags. So I'm going to continue on while we're talking. And we need to make this, I'm going to make this a small bracelet. So it needs to be like 6 inches. I'm going to set this aside for a moment. And right now we are at 2 inches. So we might have enough with what I have on the sample to finish this with the beads in the kit. If not, we may need to add some beads and do some loops or something there. All right, so I'm going to pick up on this one, this outer edge. I'm going to do the 2. So, anyways, yeah. Charlie and Velvet are doing wonderful. They've been together for about a week now, which makes me very happy because I've never seen Velvet happier. She's been binkying around and enjoying life, and Charlie is now free roam. He gets free roam of the downstairs during the day and the upstairs at night. There we go. And pass it through. Oh, perfect. That's perfect. We may do some more embellishments. I may add some more silver to this just to lighten it up. Maybe going from here to here with some silver beads, or from here, like, I don't know. We might add something. Maybe do I don't know. I kind of like it like this, though. It's kind of simple. So let's see what else. Bella's doing better. I'm gonna do one bead on this side. Bella's doing better. She gave me a scare when she had eaten the cement or whatever it was that was in the hay cube. Scared me. We took her to the vet. So far, everything looks okay. No blockages or anything. I did contact the company and they had me send the piece back. They're doing testing. And they're going to be letting me know the results because it looked like cement, but we weren't exactly sure. So they're going to do testing and let me know what is going on. Oh, that's looking very nice. That's pretty. I like the fact that this blue is super bright, sparkly, and then the purple is a little more matte. So just so you know, on this, when I'm doing this, whatever thread is coming out to this side of the bead, so like this side, right? Because I want this to have the 2. I'm putting the 2 on this thread and then 1 on the other thread. So on this one, I'm doing the purple, the seed bead. I want a different purple. The purple. I might actually keep this for myself. I like this. The seed bead. So this side has the 2 seed beads and the 2 purple. And then this side is going to have the single bead, because what we're doing by doing that is moving the spot where that seed bead is, so that if I did the single over here, I'd be coming out here and I'd be forming a circle. But because I'm doing it in the opposite direction, it's causing the bead, that seed bead, to be in the opposite side. So if I had done 2 on this side, I'd be over here, and we don't want that. So now that I'm on this side, I'm going to do 2 here so that I end up over there. So 1. Seed bead, blue, seed bead, and then on this side we're doing just a blue, and then I'm going to go back through that bead. And then just pull on the threads. And I probably have way more thread than I need. I probably could have done a wingspan's worth. And that's going to look really pretty on. That's going to be a really pretty bracelet. And so we're going to have to keep track of our length because we don't want to get too long. So I'm thinking 6.5. And I'm just going to set this under there. So we are at roughly 4. So, yep. So we've got a few more to go. I think I will have enough beads. Ooh. No tangles. I should have enough beads. So now we've done the blue. And again, I'm on this side. I keep flipping it so that I'm on the same side when I pick up the beads. Makes life a little easier. So I'm going to pick up a purple, a seed bead, a purple, and a seed bead on that side. On this side, I'm going to pick up just a purple. Now you could add additional embellishments on this. You could add, you know, charms or really anything that you want. You could add additional seed beads. I think I'm going to leave this like this, though. I think this is just this simple, elegant bracelet. And we are going to reinforce when we're done. I'm just getting the initial pattern, so we'll put on our clasp, and then we will, yeah, we're gonna have to do several more. All right, so I'm gonna continue going, and I'll keep giving you updates. I'm not going to give you explanations. I think you've got the idea. So let's see what else has been going on. We still have not caught the bunny that's out in my neighborhood, still being actively thwarted by people. And I say thwarted because they keep either chasing off the bunny or, you know, they don't want us on their property, and that's fine. We keep trying to get the bunny off property so that we can rescue it. But yeah, so anyways, still working on that. Got another call about a bunny in a farm field near here, and we're trying to rescue that one as well. But we're not seeing it. Like, people see it, and then we go out and we don't see it. So we're struggling with that. Other than that, I got sick for a bit. I ended up with, I don't know if it was the flu or it wasn't COVID. I did take a test. It wasn't COVID. Had a cough, had stuffy nose, lost my voice for a little bit. So that was another thing. Didn't last too long. But yeah, life's been crazy. I did just order a bunch of beads. Could not help myself. I saw a bunch of beads that I wanted. Ooh, that one's got a problem with it. So, yeah, so I bought a bunch of beads. Some of them are really cool cabochons, and because I had to buy multiples, even though I only needed one, I may sell them in my Etsy shop. So, yep, that might be coming up. I'm trying to get some more patterns going for you guys. I may do some kits. I was thinking about doing some kits for you. Not necessarily with stuff from the bead boxes, but because you already get the bead boxes, but stuff, like when I make patterns and do bracelets, maybe, put up some kits. I'm going to be doing some more bead embroidery. I think, I'm going to start focusing on that some more. I've got some patterns that I want to make, some bracelets. I've got some bracelet blanks coming in so we can do some cuff embroidery bracelets, and I'll probably be putting those patterns up on Etsy, or kits up on Etsy for you. Been working on the book. Actually been working on a couple of books. I'm debating, though, whether I want to do the Shibori as a book or a master class online. just because there are so many things that while I'm taking pictures of it, I don't know if it would be better to just do the videos and just be like, hey, here's the video of how to do that. All right, we're at 5.5. Let's see. Can we do... Can we do 3 more? Because what I want to do is I want to get this to be about 6.5. Oops. Would help if I put my silver in. So now you could do this with any size bead. You don't have to use this size. I could have done it with these matte beads. And bigger beads, it would just look a little bit different. Yeah, we're going to be using up all of these purple beads. That's pretty incredible. I didn't know what I wanted to do with those. I was looking at doing wire wrapping for those, but I haven't really come up with something that I like, so I may just save those for another time. All right, I'm going to hold on to this for a second, and I just want to see, yeah, we need to go at least one more set of everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking apart, oops, my sample here. And reclaim these beads. Just because we're going to need them, because I'm going to need to do at least 2 more sets. So I'm coming out of the short side. So here we go. Blue. See, this one's pretty easy. This is going to be a fairly easy bracelet for you. Hopefully you like it. I'll get this video up tomorrow. I'll edit it tonight. Having a rainy, very windy day. We've got 40-mile-an-hour winds today, so good day to be inside. Although it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous out. It's like 60 degrees. You know, in Ohio, which is very warm for this time of year. All right, and I'm going to end on a purple. Yeah, we need to just do one more. We're going to end on a purple so that it's just so that it has, ooh, the right length, because I don't want this to need a extender. I still may put an extender chain on it just in case I decide to sell it. Oops. All right, now let me see if that's now long enough. So what I'm doing is I'm just testing it on my wrist to see if it'll go around my wrist. Yeah, that'll go around my wrist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads on each side. So there's one. Whoops. This does not want to go in. So there is maybe one. There's one. All right, so we can't scoop these. That's fine. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I have 3 on both sides. So that is going to create a little bit of a loop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a I'm going to use a lobster claw here. And actually, I think I'm going to put 4 on each, just to make it a little longer. And then I'm going to pass through my lobster claw the one direction, and the lobster claw with the other one in the other direction. And then I'm going to pull it. So that it gets tight. And so there is my loop. And then I'm going to start passing back through the beads, because what I want to do is I want to go back down through those 4, and I'm going to pass this down through, if I can find my end on this side, I'm going to pass these down through. Oh, I went through 3. So I'm going to pass this through the 4 beads and that center one, because I want to be off-centered for the moment. Because what I want to do is I want to tighten this up and pull this as tight as I can possibly get it. And pull and pull and pull. And then I'm going to go back through this bead. I'm going to crisscross because it's not tightening up the way I want it to. So I'm going to crisscross there. And then we're just going to tighten. We're just going to pull and pull and pull and pull and pull until it's as tight as we can get it. And then I'm going to start weaving back through my work. So we're going to reinforce now. And I'm going to go back through this purple. And this is where it's going to get tricky, because now you've got to pass through without passing through the seed beads and without loosening things up. So I'm going to get it through that one. And I'm going to get this guy through that first one, and it'll go a little quicker once. And as you can see, it's starting to loosen up. And that's because we haven't knotted anything yet. So I'm going to go through that seed bead here. And then I'm going to go around. I'm going to get back through so that we're crisscrossing on this seed bead. And then we're going to knot. So, and it's the more you do through these beads, the harder it's going to be to start passing through. So once we do our first knot, and we tighten, it will tighten everything back up. Okay. So now we're going to do a tightening. And I am just going to show you how to do that. And so what you're going to do is you're just going to pull and pull and then pull and just keep pulling and keep pulling and keep pulling until everything is tight. Okay, so now everything is nice and tight. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a knot by going underneath, keeping everything tight. I'm going to go in the center of these beads. So I have like a loop, and then I'm going to go through the loop, and I'm just going to make a little kind of a half hitch knot there. That's going to keep everything tight. And now I'm going to do that on this side as well. I'm going to go through the center and just through, making a half, kind of a, what they call a half hitch knot in the macrame world, and making that tight and just pulling those super, super tight so that this is nice and tight now. Okay. And now that that's nice and tight and we've done the first set of knots, I still want to reinforce this. So I am going to go take one thread at a time, and I'm going to weave in a zigzag pattern back and forth. So I'm going to go down through this blue, and then through that, and back through, and because I don't have to tighten, I can do this one side at a time. That is, if I can get there we go. And it's coming out. Where'd it go? All right. He is not wanting to go in that seed bead. So if you have a tight seed bead, you're gonna have problems getting the thread through like I am. And it shouldn't be that tight with an 8/0, but there we go. There we go. And then I'm going to just pass through here. So I'm just passing through these beads in a, basically I'm following the thread path, but I'm doing one at a time now. Just so I don't have to worry about doing both threads. And I can see it loosened up a little bit. So, again, if it starts to loosen up a little bit, pull on those knots. You can add another knot. I'm going to add another knot here, just so I'm going to go through this seed bead. And this is why I'm using the clear thread, because at least with this, with the clear, you're not going to see it as much if it does loosen up a little. And I'm going to put a nice stiff knot in here. And so I'm just going to go through and I'm going to do it once more because I'm going to make this a sturdy knot. And I'm just going to pull that. And by doing that, that just tightened that up. And now I'm going to weave back through and continue on. And again, I'm doing one side at a time. Oops. Try not to snag things. Or get it looped around like that. Get out. There we go. You know what? I'm going to clip this. Do I have a clip up here? Just so I don't have to worry about that thread being in the way. I'm just going to wrap it around and actually clip that right there. So he's out of the way. Maybe. Or not, because it's just making a mess. I was trying to keep that other one out of the way. It's just not, it's not cooperating. I just need him to stay back there. All right. All right, so basically I'm going to keep weaving this. I may pause this while I'm doing this, and I'm going to continue to add knots, occasionally going down. Until I get all the way back to the beginning, and then I am going to do some final knotting closer to the end and basically weave back through because I want to have tails. There we go. Now it's starting to go faster here. All right, so I'm going to pause you. I'm going to get these all woven in. I'll meet you back when I get up there. Okay, guys, so, yeah. So I've gotten my threads back to the top. Now I'm coming out the 2 purple beads. And I'm glad I did a 2 wingspan because I used almost all of that. I mean, I have, you know, I'm gonna trim here because we don't need all of that. And it's getting a little gangly on the ends here, but I want even. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm coming out of those 2 purple beads. I am going to crisscross 1 through that first seed bead, and then I'm going to tie a really nice knot. Okay. And then I'm going to tie a really good knot. So I'm going to do 1 there. And I'm going to do what they call a surgeon's knot, wrap it around twice, and do a second knot there. Oh, well, it would help if I didn't snag my loop at the same time. Be careful of that. Tie that. Now, I'm going to probably put a drop of glue there, but first, now that my knot is out of the way, I am going to go back through that seed bead, if I can get this through without going through. There we go. It wanted to go through more than one bead. And so I am going to take just one side. Doesn't really matter which. And I'm going to wrap it back through all of these beads just to reinforce the little connector. Because your clasp area that's what's going to have the most, it's going to have the most wear and tear. So I'm going to go back through this. And if you can only get through one bead at a time, like I just was able to only get through that one because it's really tight now that I tied that knot, that's also fine. What is that? There we go. It did not want to go through those. Fine, we'll go through one at a time. Get this guy out of the way. So I'm just trying to get that one thread out of the way. And it would be easier if I had needles on this. I just don't have any needles that would be big enough to hold my monofilament, but small enough to go through the 8/0. So I'm just using the thread as a needle. And what's happening is it's going in, and what I'm trying to do is I'm getting it in. It's just going through that 8/0 bead, the big bead, and I don't want it to go through that just yet. So I'm just going to loosen that just a little. And you can loosen it by pulling on it just a little, because we haven't put any glue on this to secure those knots. Again, monofilament stretches, so there we go. And then back through that seed bead. If I can get it back through there. Because see, that's where our knot is, and it may not go through there. I'm going to do something off camera here real quick. I have a magnifying glass that I'm going to try to see, because there is a lot of thread. There we go. Come on. There we go. Gotcha. Okay. So I managed to get it through, and I'm going to pull that tight. So now that we've gone through twice, we really don't need to do anything more on this. We've got our knot there. Ooh. Did that loop? That looped. Yep, it looped on me, but that's okay. All right, so now I'm through that. And now I have my threads coming back through both sides. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to real quick do a couple of knots, half hitch on each side of the thread here, just on each side. That is, if I can get it from being caught. All right, let's try this again. Go up through the center. Try not to snag it on anything. And then go back up through and do that one more time. Just because I want to make this a really nice secure knot here. Pull that nice and tight. Trying to keep this thing more rounded to be a loop. We'll probably put a jump ring on that. And then I'm going to do a knot on this side. First things first, though, I'm going to pass this through one of the purple beads, and I'm going to cut it off. Because I don't need a really long tail. That is, if I can get it through the purple bead. There we go. There we go. I wanted to go through more than one. All right, so now I can cut this guy off. I don't need him. And now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to do another half hitch here. And there's once through, twice through, pull that nice and tight, and then go through that purple bead. And then we're just going to put some glue on those knots. That is, if I can get that through there, because that is, there we go. All right, and then we can cut this guy off. I will probably do the glue after. You don't really need to see that. That's just going to be putting a little drop, and actually we can do that. I'm going to use some super glue. And all I'm going to do is one little drop. Oh, it was open. Just a little drop there. And just a little drop there. Just to keep it secure. And there we go. So now we've got this gorgeous bracelet. And if you didn't want to hook onto that, which I don't know if I'm going to like that, I think I'm going to put a jump ring on it. And so what I'm going to do to make this just maybe a little bit longer is on that top bead here, I am just going to add a jump ring. Just so we have a little bit better of a clasp. And all right, my fingers are getting sticky from the super glue because it's not quite dry yet. And then there you go. Now you have a nice, beautiful bracelet that's going to look fabulous on the arm. Anyways, so that is a design from the Bargain Bead Box Floral Fantasy. I really like this bracelet. I think it's very pretty. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'm going to try to start doing regular videos again. So anyways, let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.